What's going on YouTube? So over the last few years, the luxury market has been shaken up by the new entrance of the Genesis brand. Genesis has introduced loads of luxury at relatively affordable prices, as well as many features that have been first in the industry. The GV80 sits at the top end of the Genesis SUV lineup in both size and price. And for 2023, the company is upgrading several things. So, without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump right into this review and see what's new for 2023. So when this vehicle first came out, the exterior design really got a lot of attention because it has a very unique and classy design. Some people say it kind of looks a little bit like a Bentley Bentayga, but of course that is a good vehicle to be compared to for sure. So up here in the front, we're not going to notice any cosmetic changes for 2023. You're going to continue to have the signature Genesis crest grille. As you can see, it is going to be finished in a chrome design that runs through there, and you got that wing that goes across the top. Now as you drop below, you'll notice another opening in the lower fascia. It's not in chrome, but it does have the same texture as the main grille. The other very signature element of the Genesis lineup is the headlights. So we do have the quad LED headlights. So as you can see, two separate units, both with two crystals each, and then you've got your daytime running lights and your turn signal indicators that are duplicated right through there for a really unique look. You'll continue to not find any fog lamps though on any model. Now next up we have our wheels. These are also going to remain the same for 2023. So you have a range of options starting at 19-inch alloys, moving to these 20-inch alloys with this advanced model, and then you also have 22-inch alloys if you choose the fully loaded Prestige model, and those of course look very big on this vehicle, and they have that really cool design that you may have seen in our past review. Now as we come on up here, we do have that repeating theme of the dual lights. So we've got that in the turn signal indicator with some chrome accenting. And then in terms of our mirrors, these are going to be fully loaded on every single model. So that means we have heating, we have auto dimming, we have blind spot monitoring, and we have power folding.
So let's go ahead and talk about the side of the GV80 and how it fits into the lineup. So of course this is Genesis' biggest SUV for the time being, and it's coming in at 194.7 inches in overall length, which does place it on par with what you expect out of a BMW X5, Mercedes GLE, all of its competitive set. A few design elements that I want to point out. We have, the chrome trim down here that kind of swoops up and goes into the back. We have chrome window surrounds and chrome roof rails at the top. So definitely a very nice design from the side, and also it does have that signature rear drive proportion that I know you guys like. Now another thing that I like, and if you've watched the channel very much, you know that I love the way this Genesis GV80 looks, is this rear design. It is beautiful, guys. This is one of the best looking SUVs I have ever seen. It just has a very minimalistic but also very elegant and classy look to it. So let's break down some of the design touches. Now not much has changed for 2023, so you're going to have your wiper right here. You have your tailgate release button right underneath of that. Genesis spelled out across the back. And then let's look at these taillights. The taillights are going to be these quad beam full LED taillights in the back. They look very similar to what you see in the front, so I like the cohesive design elements here. Once again, full LED, so every element in there is LED, and then your reverse light is down here, and that's also LED. You will also notice that we have the trapezoidal exhaust outlets integrated within the bumper, so I like that it's integrated inside. And every GV80 is going to have a 6,000 pound tow rating regardless of the powertrain you choose. Now it's time for your warranty and safety information on the GV80. So this is an area that I'm sure you'll be very pleasantly surprised with, is that they're including everything as standard equipment. Namely, a lot of the Germans make you go into very expensive option packages to get all of your safety systems. So this is going to include forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, as well as adaptive cruise control with stop and go. Now additionally, you're also going to have a much better warranty than a lot of the German rivals will offer. So a 5-year, 60,000 mile basic warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, which is really the best warranty you can get on any luxury vehicle. And you're also going to have 3 years and 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. But guys, not much has changed on the exterior of this GV80 on the outside, but let's go ahead and check out the inside, see what's changed in there before we take it out in a spin.
So walking up to our GV80, you do continue to find the typical Genesis key fob, and of course you do have standard smart entry. Now in addition to that, we've got remote start built into the fob. You'll also notice these buttons here, that's for the smart parking system, and that's going to be included on the advanced trim level and above. Furthermore, you also have the digital key system, so you can use your phone as key or also this key card. Now as you approach the vehicle, the mirrors will go ahead and fold out. And of course, just grab behind the handle to unlock. And let's go ahead and climb inside. But before we go into what exactly is new for 2023 inside of the cabin, let's first talk about our color and material choices, which thankfully have not changed this year, since Genesis is already offering a really nice color palette with some unique options. So you are going to start out with leatherette. However, most of the models will come with what you see here, real leather. As you can tell with this seat itself, we do have a really nice perforation design through there. You've got the color contrast stitching and piping. So overall it looks very nice. However, if you want the full Napa leather, that will continue to have to be accessible through just the 3.5T Prestige model. Now in terms of your color choices for this model, we've got black, ultramarine, and dune combination. You have beige with black and also the beige with brown. That's going to be what you see today in our example. Now as we turn over here to our seats, these are going to be 12-way power adjusting with 4-way lumbar support on all of the models, except for the Prestige models. Those are going to come with 16-way power adjustment and massage abilities. Now of course, one of the things that this car has always received praise for is the interior materials. So looking around the cabin, we continue to have just a beautifully finished interior. You have leather all across the armrest area. You have leather all through here with the stitching detail, leather in the middle, and leather along the top. You're going to notice a lot of genuine open pore wood throughout. You have metal accent. We also have the 2-person memory seating. And then in terms of our window switches, these are going to be 4 fully automatic. And of course, as you can see, they do have the knurled aluminum finish. As we go above to the upper dash, this is all going to be finished in leather as well. Again, stitching details. As you come down, you're going to notice more real aluminum, more open pore wood. And again, you're going to have the leather material that runs along here for your knee to rest against. Everything fits together really nice, and of course just looks visually very premium as well. Now to start it up, put your foot on the brake and press the standard button. So right off the bat here, taking a look at our gauge cluster, there is an update since the last 2021 GV80 we were in, and that's the fact that we have expanded availability of the full digital 12.3-inch 3D gauge cluster. So as you can tell on this model, and throughout most of the GV80 lineup, we've got the half digital, half analog setup. You can change certain elements of this and scroll through information inside of it, but if you want the full digital setup, that has now been expanded to the 2.5 Prestige as well as the 3.5 Prestige. So if you choose either of those top-end models, no matter which engine, you'll get the digital gauge cluster. Additionally, with this model, we do have the blind view camera system, so that's going to be included on the advanced and above. And if you want a head-up display, which we don't have on this model, you will have to choose either the 2.5T Prestige or the 3.5 Advanced or higher. And of course, we do have rain sensing wipers, and we have the signature Genesis steering wheel. As you can see, it's got that 2-spoke design, nice leather wrapped in that matching kind of brown leather. As far as the wheel itself, it is going to be power tilt and telescoping as standard equipment, as well as standard steering wheel heating. But let's go ahead and check the interior storage as the next item on the list. So turning over here to our console, as you can see, it opens up with the split design, and you do have a really nice and deep console here, belt lined on all the sides as well. And I can already tell this is going to be no problem when I stick the coupons in here. Look at that. You'll be able to keep all your coupons to battle inflation. Now in front of that, we do have our 2 cup holders underneath the nice open pore wood. And underneath of this piece, you're going to have another decently sized storage area. This is going to service as your wireless phone charging pad. You also have your 2 USB-A connections right there. And then down below that, we do have one more storage area. It's basically a nice center pass-through. Now, of course, one of the things that makes that possible is the fact that we have an electronic shifter, but not just any electronic shifter. This is one of the nicest and coolest on the market. As you might be able to tell at this point, it is made of glass. It feels absolutely lovely. It looks great. This is actually ambient lit with the rest of the interior, so it looks beautiful at night, and you've got the knurled aluminum around the outside edges. So really, really nice shifter. I can't say enough nice things about it. Of course, you do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well. And if you twist over to the R, that's going to kick you into reverse. Now, taking a look up here at our backup camera, the advanced model and above is going to come with the 360 camera. So the vast majority of the models will have this 360 camera. Of course, you've got both those traditional views, but the fun thing to do is go into the 3-dimensional drone-like view, and you can go all the way around the vehicle there and take a look at it from all different perspectives. And then for park, you're just going to press the P. The electronic parking brake is off to the left side of the steering wheel. Now over here to the side, we do have our drive mode controller. And then up in front of the shifter, actually looks pretty similar to the shifter, is the control knob for your infotainment system. It is also a touchscreen, don't worry. We'll talk about that in just a second. And we also have physical controls for our audio system. So in terms of what you can expect for the audio situation, you have a standard 12 speaker sound system. However, most of the models, as in the advanced and above, are going to come with the 21 speaker Lexicon Quantum system. That's what we have, and let's give it a sample. Yeah, so overall sound quality of this system is quite nice. I do like that it fills up the cabin very well. Of course, I already mentioned the middle speaker grills. The only thing is you really have to roll the crap out of this button to get the volume turned up. Definitely a lot of minute adjustments available. Okay, so let's talk about the above area, the climate control panel. So we do have a little bit of an expanded availability of the 3-zone automatic climate control setup. That's what we have on this specific example, so you can click the rear button, you can make those adjustments to the back climate. Otherwise, it's very traditional in its controls. You're just going to twist these physical knobs here to make your temperature adjustments. However, you do have a touchscreen area right here. That's where you can take manual control of the fan speeds and make some adjustments. It's also where you turn on and off your heated steering wheel, turn on and off your standard heated seats on every GV80, and then new for 2023 is expanded vented seats. So the advanced model, the 2.5 advanced model, has gained the vented seats as standard equipment this year. As you can see, those are them right there. Alrighty, and let's come on up here to our main display. So as you can see, we have a very large display. It's going to be 14.5 inches. Like I was mentioning earlier, you can use that control knob, or it is also a touchscreen. Now, Genesis somewhat vaguely said that this software has been upgraded. So I'm not really exactly sure what they mean by this. It looks basically exactly the same as what I've seen in the past, but maybe the performance is a little bit better because it does seem pretty snappy. You're looking at the standard navigation system that is built in. It takes up the entire display. Of course, you do also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. However, do keep in mind that they are wired, not wireless. Heading on up here to our mirror, we do have the standard auto-dimming mirror with 3 HomeLink universal remotes. Of course, you've got your LED lighting right here, you got your sunglass holder. And then, of course, we've got our large panoramic sunroof here. As you can see, you do have the power sunshade, and the front panel does open up. This is included on the 2.5 advanced model and above.
All right, guys, come on back here and join me in the Genesis GV80's rear seat. Now, you've probably seen this a few times on our channel at this point, and you know that this is a very luxurious and nice and spacious rear area for the GV80. So let's go ahead and talk about the space first, then we'll break down some of the luxury features as well. So as far as the legroom is concerned, we're looking at 38.7 inches of legroom, 38.4 inches of headroom, which does actually place this right in the middle of its competition. So that's right in the middle of like Mercedes GLE and BMW X5. So really a good amount of space for the segment. As you can see, I'm 5'9", Drew's 5'8", lots of space, at least 7 inches or so of leg room, and my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. So very comfortable space to spend time. Honestly, guys, I think these rear seats are more comfortable than the front seats. These actually have a lot nicer and a softer feel to them than the front. Now, as far as the features that Genesis is throwing in, as you would expect, we do have rear vents. That's going to be standard equipment on every single GV80. Definitely pleasant for a hot day like today. That said, you will notice this right here. I think this looks kind of cheap, honestly, for a Genesis product to have just like the hole here where you would have your climate controls on the higher end models. I'd really love for them to maybe at least fill this in with something, not just a hole. And then if we drop down below that, we have 2 charging USB ports, a household style outlet as well. And then let's talk about the seats. They do slide forward and back. You can also recline them quite a good distance. So as you can see, you can really maximize your comfort, which is certainly very nice. I do want to point out heated rear seats are on the 2.5T Prestige model or the 3.5 Advanced model. You can also get seat ventilation, and that also comes with power adjustment for these rear seats as well. So that's a new feature for the Genesis 3.5 Prestige model. Now, turning to your door trim, let's check that out. Very luxurious door trim, covered in leather from basically top to bottom, open pore wood. I love the door handle. It's super premium feeling. In addition to that, we are going to have rear window sunshade, so that's a really nice feature that they've thrown in, and some storage down in the very bottom area. And walking up to the GV80's tailgate, you will notice that we do have the hands-free smart opening one. That's actually going to be standard equipment on every single GV80 model. So if you just walk up to it, it'll sense your presence and go ahead and open up. You can turn that on and off depending on if you want that feature on or off. Now, as far as the space itself is concerned, let's discuss this because this is a very impressive area for the GV80. This is quite possibly one of the largest things in the entire segment. We have 33.9 cubic feet of cargo capacity behind the second row seats. If we fold those seats down, you're going to have a maximum of 84 cubic feet of cargo space. That does best the BMW X5 and Mercedes GLE. So really, that's an impressive amount of space, and you can really see that back here. It swallows up our camera gear, and then the seats do fold 40-20-40 split, so that's a nice feature to have. You can have both seats in place, have a long item like a ski go through the middle, and then in order to fold the seats down, they have also included these nice buttons right here to power fold them. And as you can see, it does do that very quickly as well. Now, I also want to mention something noteworthy for the GV80 is that you can get a third row. Still going to be very limited availability on getting that third row, though. It's only on the 3.5 Advanced Plus trim level that you get the third row. It's going to have about 30 inches of leg room. We've actually never sampled that out because it's kind of hard to find GV80 with a third row because that one specific trim level is the one that has it. I would like for them to expand it out to further trim levels as well, so maybe we'll see that in the upcoming model years, but they have not changed that for 2023. Now, your passenger seat is going to be power adjusting As you can see, there's lots of different ways of adjustment. We do even still have the 4-way lumbar support as well. We pop open the glove box. Let's take a look in this area. Now it is filled completely full with a lot of owner's manuals and books and stuff, but it is nicely felt lined. We have LED illumination inside, and then for our coupons, they fit in there no problem. So even with all this junk in here, we can fit our Lasagna Fest coupons in there perfectly fine. Shuts right on up. And then up top we have a sun visor, LED illumination, a nice mirror, and we can also detach it and extend it out.
Nice. All right. Yeah, there we go. Nice acceleration up to 60 miles per hour in the short span between that red light and this red light.
This one always gets us. Nice, yeah.
Yeah, not bad at all. Of course, if you don't know, up until this point in the video, we have the 2.5T. So that's actually going to be the base engine, of course, for the GV80. What that is a 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. It's going to make 300 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. So those are very healthy numbers, and as you can see, it does get this up to 60 miles per hour pretty easily. There's plenty of torque on board with this. We do have the sound effects as well. This is a moderate enhancement, so it actually doesn't really sound like a 4-cylinder.
No. I think it sounds pretty good, actually. I think it does a really convincing job of having a different sound and different attitude than other applications of this 2.5 turbo. If you're familiar with our channel, you probably have seen many cars that have this exact same powertrain in it. But they do a good job of making it Genesis-y. You know, like they have their own specific tuning for it. So I like that they've made it a lot more premium feeling than like a normal application in a Hyundai or Kia product. Now, of course, they do also offer the 3.5 turbo, twin turbo model. That is going to be your highest end powertrain option for the GV80. So that's going to have 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. Obviously, that's going to be a big power boost, and that makes it one of the most powerful options in the segment. That's a very, very healthy power figure. Maybe one day we'll finally do a 3.5 model so we can show you guys what that's like. But
right, well, we have sampled that extensively in the GV70, of course the smaller brother to this crossover, and in that model it absolutely scoots.
Oh yeah, it's very quick. Nice.
Yeah, even going up a little bit of a hill there. So the other aspect of the powertrain is your transmission, of course. In this regard, we do have the 8-speed automatic transmission. Really nice and smooth. When you put your foot down, gives you the power you need. Otherwise, as a luxury product, it kind of blends into the background nice and smoothly. And we do have an important update for 2023. That's the fact that all-wheel drive has become standard across all GV80. So you no longer can choose the rear drive model. It's always going to have all-wheel drive.
Yeah. But guys, as we're just cruising along on this highway right here, I wanted to mention your ride quality and talk about the sound level that we're getting. So I'll talk about the ride quality first. So since we do have a more basic model, we don't have the adaptive dampers. You can get that on the higher end models. So the Advanced Plus trim level and the Prestige will have adaptive dampers, so they'll further, increase your ride quality. So that's something to consider if you want the best. You can get that.
But I will chime in, having driven the one with adaptive dampers, but it also has 22-inch alloys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's that big of a difference, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
Sitting here on this highway here,
Yeah.
it feels about the same to me.
I would totally agree with you, Drew. We did extensively test out the 2.5 Prestige with the 22s, and like you said, I think this is about the same. So I don't know if that's really something that's necessary for you to upgrade for, but it is an additional feature that they're throwing in. Now, as far as just overall comfort, it is very comfortable inside of this cabin. The seats are a little bit firmer than what I would like, but the headrest hits me right in the nice spot of my neck, so overall ride quality is very impressive and mostly in line with the Germans, although I'd say it's a little bit worse than something like an X5 or GLE, since those tend to be more comfort focused. So for our sound level reading here, we're looking at 54 decibels. I don't know if we're quite at 55. It looks like we're pretty close, at least, to 55.
We were at 55. This gauge cluster goes up by tens, not 5s.
It's kind of hard to tell from passenger seat here, but yeah, 54 decibels, really good sound level reading. It seems very quiet inside this cabin, very refined feeling. I also want to mention our slam dunk and airball today. So that's our signature element. Let's go ahead and talk about our favorite feature, as well as something that we'd like to see improved. I think the best thing about this GV80 and what it's really going to appeal to is the value-oriented luxury customer, because this is throwing in a lot of stuff, standard equipment. So especially if you want to get on the lower rung of the GV80 lineup, there is a ton of value thrown in. You're getting a super luxurious experience for a lot less than the German rivals. So definitely, I think that's today's slam dunk.
On the airball side of things, we were talking about this earlier. There's only one trim, like Mason was talking about, that has the third row. This is the largest Genesis product as of now. Maybe they'll go bigger, hopefully, in a year or two, but as of now, this is as large as it gets. And I do think that they should make the third row available on all or most of the trim levels, because if you need that, you really can't get it unless you get that one obscure trim.
And we've never even seen one at the dealership like that. And
right.
We've never even tested it out. I haven't even seen what the third row looks like. So it's very limited availability, which I think is a little bit of a misstep on their part. Now, I do also want to mention your fuel economy. That's becoming ever increasingly important nowadays as gas prices rise and rise. So for the 2.5 turbo model, like what we have today, we're looking at 22 miles a gallon combined. 2024 is the rating. Like Drew mentioned, the 2023 change is that there's all-wheel drive as standard equipment, so you're only going to have that fuel economy, and then the 3.5 twin turbo, which is coming in at 20 miles a gallon combined. So not much of a fuel economy penalty for going for the 3.5 twin turbo. You're getting a lot of extra power as well, so that's something to consider. Premium fuel is required for both engines. And lastly, let's go ahead and mention the pricing for the GV80. So the 2.5T all-wheel drive is going to start at $55,550. A little bit of a tongue twister there. 3.5T is going to start at $62,700. And then the 3.5T Advanced Plus, so that one with the third row, is going to start at $70,600. So the base price does rise a little bit for 23, but that is because you have the all-wheel drive system as standard equipment. Now this one has a handful of accessories on it. We have the 2.5 Advanced all-wheel drive, plus the destination charge. We're looking at $64,085.
But overall, the Genesis GV80 continues to be a very impressive luxury crossover. And what they did for 2023 basically sweetens the deal.
Well, guys, thanks so much for watching this in-depth review of the 2023 Genesis GV80 2.5 Advanced. If you found this review helpful in your purchasing decisions, please pay us back by hitting that subscribe button down below. We would really appreciate it because it helps give us better access to cars to show you all. So really, it's kind of a circular thing. The more subscribers we have, the cooler cars that we can show you all first. So please go ahead and do that. Tell a friend, tell a family member. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram if you haven't already. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.